University of Pennsylvania did a study, 22-year study, 350,000 people. And they found that a thinking pattern began to emerge over a 22-year period that was what they called predictive of success. So wouldn't you want to know if there was a way you could think that it would predict success? What was the thinking pattern? Guess what it was? It was optimism. They noticed that the optimistic people, it became a predictor of success. Now, here's what's interesting. 2 characteristics they found in these optimistic people. One is that they had an unrealistic expectation that they were going to succeed. An unrealistic expectation. And by the way, let me pontificate for a minute. This is an academic studying you, right? They're studying Eric Worre, and they're over a 22-year period, and they're thinking to themselves, because you're telling them, they're doing the study. I'm going to accomplish this and this and all this visionary stuff. And guess what they're thinking? That's unrealistic. Unrealistic to who? In this case, to them, or maybe even unrealistic in the world. Yep. But it's not unrealistic to you. You're willing to go for it and chase it. That optimism or that visionary part. Second characteristic is they would try new things until they succeeded. So most people persist until it gets hard. They persist until the customer quits. They persist until the team member leaves. That team quits. They persist until that point. Where these optimistic visionary people will say, I'll just persist until I succeed.
Unrealistic expectations kind of sounds like taking massive imperfect action. What if we just did that? What if we did that today? What if we did it the rest of the week? What if we took all of this month and had unrealistic expectations of what we could accomplish in our business? What would happen? Could anything negative happen? Is there anything negative that happens with optimism? I don't think so. I think it's absolutely the fact. Every high performer, every person that I know that has an unbelievably strong business is completely unrealistic and wildly optimistic of what they can accomplish. Some people call it ego. Some people call it, just a delusion. But the fact is, as long as we're taking massive imperfect action combined with unrealistic expectations, we cannot lose. It's undefeated. And in real estate, if we have enough conversations and make enough offers, you cannot fail. But here's the tricky part. Most of the time that we spend in this business is in the process of failing. But the successes that we have are so much bigger. It's so much better that all of a sudden that process of failing gets shorter and shorter and shorter and smaller and smaller and smaller. And the massive imperfect action that we take every single day explodes our business. And then all of a sudden, we're in a place that we never thought that we could be in. We get rid of all the debts that we have. We get rid of all the things that happened in the past. And I'm going to talk about that in 8 ways to make money faster. But we'll jump into the hottest markets because I know that's the theme of the show. We've got an incredible show, by the way. We've got Tom Croll, who's absolutely incredible. He's going to give us more insight to his book that's coming out. It's going to be one of the best business books of all time. He's my mentor. He's your mentor. He's the mentor of all the mentors. He's going to be pouring into us today. We've got Rich Wonders, who is the Novation King. He is making an absolute fortune on thrown away leads. And he's going to show us what markets he's doing that in. We got Jeremy Thorberg, my disposition manager. He's going to show you how to sell in big markets and small markets. There is nuance. There is difference there. He's going to show you exactly how to do that. And we've got Micah Nichols, who owns US Leads List, who finds the pre-probates, has a proprietary software to be able to do that. He's absolutely incredible. So strap in. It's going to be a phenomenal show. But let's talk about which markets are the best to wholesale in. And I want to go into a couple different thoughts here, or a couple different factors that'll go into your decision on where you start to put your efforts. All right. The first one is this, and I think that this is really important. All right. We're looking at judicial versus non-judicial foreclosure states. Why do I bring this up? Because As wholesalers, we sell to cash buyers. Okay. We sell to cash buyers. And most of those cash buyers, they don't have cash sitting in their account. That's not where they're pulling the cash from. It's not coming from their bank account. It's coming from a hard money lender. These are people that go out every single day and they raise funds from wealthy people. They say, hey, wealthy person, you've got some funds that it's not doing much in the market right now. You don't really want to buy rentals because you don't want to deal with, the responsibility of tenants or property managers or whatever else. You just want to make passive income on your money. You want your money to make baby money. Great. So they go and they raise funds and they say, hey, listen, I'll give you 8 to 10% return. They lend it to us for 12 to 14%. Plus they get fees. It's great business. Everybody should get into that business. It's the top of the pyramid. It's absolutely bananas. We won't get into that in this show, but the difference between judicial and non-judicial foreclosure states is when you're in a judicial state, it is harder to foreclose. It's a longer process, which means that there's more risk for those lenders, which means that to offset that risk, they usually charge more in points. A point is 1% of what the loan is. You get a $100,000 loan, you pay $1,000, that's 1 point. In judicial states, it's very expected that you pay 2 to 3 points, right? 2 to 3,000 for that because they understand that there's risk involved. It takes a longer time. If you don't pay the bill, you don't pay the mortgage, you don't pay the note, right? And so it's more expensive in those states. So it's something to consider. You have to get discount. The discounts on the properties that you go after have to be deeper to be able to average more per deal than you would in non-judicial states. Not only that, in non-judicial states, the hard money lenders are out there and they are crazy at raising money because they can turn their money so fast that there's more opportunities for lending. So that means that there's more cash buyers out there that have more lines of credit with these hard money lenders. And so in the non-judicial states, you see that there is really large amounts of cash buyer activity. Now, it happens in the judicial states, especially in Florida, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, some of those, but not nearly as much as the Texas, Arizona, Californias, the Washingtons, some of these other states that just have an explosive, Arkansas, the Alabamas, all of those, right? And so it's really important if you're going to virtually wholesale or if you're looking for a market to virtually wholesale, this is a consideration. The other thing is this. I'm going to go to the board real quick, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull up how to find the hottest zip codes in each of these markets for absolutely free. And it's a hack that maybe you're not familiar with, but it's helped our business tremendously. All right. So I'm going to go here. The second factor. One is judicial versus non-judicial. Let me stop the screen here so we can go full screen. The other is this. This is the facts. $0 to $100,000 properties that you're going to lock up. The average fee is $5,000 to $8,000. 100 to 200, 8 to 10,000. 200,000 to 300,000, 10 to 20,000. 300 to 400, 20 to 30,000, and then 400,000 plus, you're going 30,000 up to 100,000. So the question you have to ask yourself as an entrepreneur is, do I want to do more volume with less revenue per deal, or do I want to do less volume with higher revenue? My approach to this, now this is different for everybody. If you go with more of a dispo model that my incredible friend Jamil Damji has just absolutely mastered, you're more in this level. So you have to do a lot of transactions to equal the same amount of income that you would if you were doing higher priced transactions. Now, you certainly can do bigger deals in there, but the average is between 5,000 and 8,000, which means as you grow to really get to like $1 million, $2 million, $3 million in your business, you need to have a lot of hands on deck. You need to hire a lot of really great talent for that, right? And I don't want to have a big team. I don't want to have a lot of people. I don't want to have an HR director. I don't want to go through all of that. I don't want a constant revolving door of hiring and bringing on and training and doing all those things. I want to have a select group of absolute killers that I can keep in my business for a long term, pay them really well, really, really ridiculously well, and be able to just grow by getting bigger deals. And that's what I talk about a lot on this channel, is getting bigger deals. And so I stay in these markets. Well, listen, if you're in some of those markets that are kind of the what some people call the flyover states, or middle America, or even in these bigger states like a Texas or a Florida or whatever else, and you're going after those markets that are here, just expect you're not going to make as much per deal. So this is a really important factor when you are deciding where you want to focus your efforts and focus your business, especially if you're going to be doing this virtually, or if you're looking to expand your business because you're doing really well in your backyard. Listen, I understand. Some of us live in really small markets. We're a big fish in a small pond. We're like that little seed that started out in the styrofoam cup in a little bit of soil. We're growing too big. We got to pull ourselves out and put ourselves into a bigger pot, right? So that we can keep flourishing and growing, right? And we have enough room for us to really expand. But you have to decide, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in and do these deals? You can do a lot of these deals. And these are easier deals. These are outskirt deals. These are deals where it's typically blue collar labor communities that are either working hourly, or they're working with their hands. They're doing manual labor type communities where it's awesome, incredible communities to live in. There's a lot of pride in those communities, but there's not a lot of appreciation because there's not a lot of economic growth. Got to factor these things in. So first we go, okay, do we want to be judicial or non-judicial? In non-judicial, it's going to cost us less per deal, and there's probably going to be more cash buyers to sell to. And then where do we go? Where do we want to fit in to the average median sale price? This is a Google search away. You simply search Google median sale price in Dayton, Ohio, median sale price San Antonio, median sale price Sacramento, whatever it is. Figure out where you want to focus your efforts. Me, if I were coaching you, I'd want you to stay right in this range. Right in this range right here, because I want you to make the most per deal. I want you to break your brain when you get that $37,000 check wired into your account, or you go and pick it up at the title company with a cashier's check with your business name on it and a clean, crisp $46,000 on that check. Oh! You deposit that and you see that in your app, your bank app, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're rocking now, mama. We're doing it now, right? That's what I want for you. So really take that into consideration. Now let's get into a deep dive. Let's get into the nitty gritty here. Let's jump back into the computer and let me show you exactly how to pull some really good, the hottest zip codes in your area, okay? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go to ListSource.com. ListSource.com. You can do this for free, guys. ListSource.com. All right. You're gonna and this is something that's been around for a long time, but it's really, really good. It just has a bunch of steps. So rewatch this if you need to. And there's several other YouTube channels that has this breakdown, but I'm gonna change it up just a little from what I've seen. And I've already got it kind of laid out here, but you're going to sign up for a free account. It's absolutely free. But register, it goes through a little process. You have to put in a little code and boom, you're in. Doesn't cost you anything. Go through the steps. It's definitely worth it. You're going to start with geography. Okay. And I'm just for this purpose, what I did is I went to city. Okay. I went into city. And then from here, you're going to select the city that you want to pull, right? And then it starts with the state. Hold on, I pulled this last night and I was hoping that it would save, but maybe it's going to make me re-log in here. Come on, ListSource. It's going to make me redo this whole thing. I might have to log back in here, guys. I apologize. And get in here. But basically, you're going to pull the city. Yeah, let me redo this. Okay, so I got to get back in here. So I'm going to put in my username. Let me see if I can get in. Build list. Okay, perfect. Okay, so in geography here, guys, what you're going to do is in select criteria, go into city. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Arizona, because that's where I live. I'm going to go into Phoenix, because it's our biggest city, and that's where I'm doing business. But you guys can do this for any area that you're interested in, and I highly suggest that you do. Where's Phoenix? There you are. You're hiding. You're going to add that, okay? And then you're going to go to property. Okay, you're going to see that pulls 342,000 property addresses. But we're going to refine this, all right? Now we're going to go into property. And I'm going to go in first. I'm going to go into last market sale date. I want to look at everything that's sold in the last 12 months. Okay, I guess we could just add it there. Boom. All right. And then I'm going to go into property type. And then I'm going to go to detail property type, because if you don't go into detail property type, it gets really goofy. And I'm going to go in. I'm going to just do this simply for single family residential. Right here, boom, and I'm going to add that. All right, and then I'm going to go into and you can see it's 8,511 properties here for the property types that have sold in the last year. And then I'm going to go to options. And I'm going to go to, I want all the properties that are only corporate owned. Okay. And then I want to go to owner occupied status. And I want it to be, absentee owned, include properties with in-state owners, include properties with out-of-state owners. Okay. Just follow along. So you can see right here, I did Phoenix. I did the last year. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Yeah, you can. Okay. I did it the last year. I did single family houses. I don't care if the mailing address is complete. I don't care about that. That doesn't change anything. And I've got absentee owners, a single family that were bought by corporate owned. Okay. And this is just to see what's going on. Now I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to purchase list. Now don't get nervous here. I'm not going to actually purchase the list. What just happened here? Oh, now I gotta log back in. This thing is killing me. This thing is killing me. That's what happens when you deal with a live show. Let me log in here. Okay. All right, let's do this one more time. Geography, boom, we're going city. We're going state. We're going Arizona. You can just fast forward if you are watching this after. Take 2 seconds. Boom. We're going property. We're going last market sale date. Add. We're going to property type, detailed property types, single family, and that. We're going to the options, absentee owned. We're going to only corporate owned. No preference here. We're going to go to purchase list. Now we're back to it. Now, listen, you're not paying this price, okay? You're going to go to purchase partial list here. This middle section here. You're going to go to custom selection. See how this takes like a bunch of steps, but it's definitely worth it. And then you're going to go to zip code. Now look at this. All 1,400 of those properties that were purchased
by a cash buyer essentially, or absentee owner here that is corporate owned, I'm gonna copy and paste this whole list of 42 zip codes. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna go into a blank Google sheet and I'm gonna paste it. Look at this. What are we doing here? Then I'm gonna go sort Z to A, and now I have a list of all the zip codes where all the investor buyers are looking to buy right here. Now, would I spend as much time in 85045 as I'm spending in 85018 or 85041 or 85032? No. Oh, shoot. I got to share this tab instead. Sorry, guys. So what I did is I just put it into this Google sheet, and then I just clicked this button here, and I did sort Z to A. And now these zip codes are showing which ones are the zip codes that investors are buying the most in. And then you focus your time and attention there, right? And then, guys, this is absolutely free. You could do this for any city, any county, any state if you really want to. And then you could see, oh my gosh, okay, this is where the investors are focusing their efforts. And that's where you focus your attention, right? That's where you go in and you find, okay, this is the hottest areas. I want to focus. If I can go after certain zip codes, these are the top ones that I want to go after. And I'm telling you, we have sold a lot. 85018 is a kind of a nicer area. It's more of a luxury, but I know that these areas are really hot in Phoenix. Got it? Awesome. And so that's how you pull the hottest zip codes in the markets that you're looking at. So one, you're looking at, okay, do I want to be judicial or non-judicial? What's the median sale price average in the markets that I go after? And then in those markets, what are the hottest zip codes to go after? Bam, bam, bam. Now you've got an unbelievable list to go after, and you know it's in popular areas where people want to buy. Let me tell you a secret about wholesaling real estate. Go where people want to buy. Go where people are buying all the time. Go in the popular areas. Now, you can certainly make some money in the outskirts. You certainly can. But for the most part, if you're talking about building a long-term, predictable, profitable business, go in the areas where there's a lot of activity. All right? Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So there you go. That is how you pull the absolute best areas and the hottest markets for you to go after. Now, the other thing that I would say is, and I can share this with you too, obviously, if you have a tool, whether it's PropStream, whether it's FlipFinder.ai, whether it's Batch Leads, you can easily pull a list. This is just a list of the cash buyers in my county that are purchasing single-family houses, and then I do it for the last year, and I look for those purchases in-state absentee owner, out-of-state absentee owner, and then I do business. Because the serious guys, the serious buyers, the serious cash buyers are going to have a business. They're going to have their LLC set up because they're going to take advantage of all those benefits, all the write-offs. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to find, best AZ investments. That's probably a good one to go do a little research on. I'm going to pull that. I'm going to put that into a Google search and find out who owns that, right? You can just search Google of that. You can share that tab instead. Boom. You go into here, open corporates. You literally just put the name into Google. Boom. I've got this guy. Now I'm going to go do some research, find them, and call them up and see if they want to buy some more properties. Know what I'm saying? Don't overcomplicate this business. Who's buying properties? Can I talk to them? Can I find out what they're buying? And in what areas are they buying them in? And then you just match that up with your efforts, whether it be inbound or outbound leads. And now you're off and running. Now you are off and running. It's absolutely incredible. There's no excuses to take massive imperfect action today. PropWire, perfect. You could use PropWire for this as well. You can go into PropWire. It's absolutely free. You set up an account. You find out where all the cash buyers are. Boom, bam, you got them. But go where people are buying. It's all right here in that easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm saying that because I got Tom Croll waiting in the wings here. That's his famous line, and he owns the website, Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy. But if you go back to this, guys, and I'll just go back to refined search here, these are the criteria that you're looking at in ListSource. Find your geography, go the last year, pick out the property. And by the way, with property type, you can do duplexes, you can do triplexes, you can do fourplexes, you can do townhouses, you can do condos, you can do all that if you want to expand and open up that area. You can do your whole county, you can do your states. Include the corporate owned. You can get rid of the corporate owned and just look for everybody that's an absentee owner that's buying, and see and explode your results even more. So play around with this tool. It's absolutely free. ListSource, by the way, guys, is phenomenal. A lot of people, a lot of these prop streams, batch leads, prop wires, flip finders, they're using the data from CoreLogic. That's what powers ListSource. And so they all buy their data from essentially the same couple companies. And so it all comes from right here. They have phenomenal, I know companies that will only use ListSource for their data. Only use ListSource for their data because it's really, really, really clean and easy to use. All right. So that's how you pull those, and get ready. Strap in, guys. So if you have questions, guys, make sure that you put in the comments section so that we can get to your questions and your celebrations. I want to ring this victory bell as much as possible. So if you've closed a deal, if you've talked to a property owner for the first time, if you've driven for dollars for the first time, if you just set up your LLC and your bank account, whatever progress that you've made in your business, I want to celebrate you. All right? Matt, you got the intro for Tom Croll? Do you have the little intro for Tom Croll? Let's bring Tom in here, guys. We love him. He's the absolute best, the coach of the coaches. Tom Croll. Tom Croll, Laws of Success. What's up, brother?
How are you, brother? It's good to see you.
I'm excited to have you back on here. Last time we had you on here, we were talking about your 88, what is it? How many laws of success?
88 principles, laws, simple, easy, proven, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Owners are complicated. Business is easy. So
that's true.
Complication is such a sexy lure. It snags so many entrepreneurs and pulls them down. It's
we're complicated because we don't think we deserve the income we make, Tom.
That's great. I agree.
You know what I mean?
I see so many people out there, these gurus, right? And it's fear of success, fear of failure. I've never met an entrepreneur in my life who has a fear of failure. Never. I've never met, but fear of success all day.
All day.
You better believe it. The number one predictor of success is your ability to handle pressure.
100%.
Yeah. And
100%.
I think that's exactly right. I think that they understand that success is going to put you off the rhinoceros success, right? Scott Alexander. It's going to put you outside of the farm. It's going to put you in the jungle, and you are definitely going to be attacked. And you're going to definitely, you're going to hit a thorn patch, and there's all kinds of dangers in the jungle. But if you got good men like Brent Daniels leading you through the forest, it makes it a lot easier. But yeah,
I'm merely standing on the shoulders of giants, Tom. All right, that is all it is. Listen, I will tell you, 90% of what I've learned about being an entrepreneur and really loving what I do, Tom, has come from you, has come from your brother Todd, has come from some incredible coaches that I've had in the past and mentors in the past. And it's so important to realize that there's nothing new, right?
Right.
There's nothing new. And this is something that you talk about all the time. There's nothing new. It's already laid out for you. Just take what's already laid out, implement it into your business, and make it happen fast.
Brother, I couldn't have said it better myself. The rules of business, the rules of money are old and proven. You don't have to read new books. Read the old books. Read The Richest Man in Babylon, The Psychology of Money, The Millionaire Next Door. These are it's all the same exact principles. What's the first rule of marketing? Copied. Yeah. Don't be creative. Don't go changing anything that Brent tells you to do. It's copied is the first rule. It's the first rule of entrepreneurship, right? Is just emulate what's already working. I'm learning from those guys. Those guys learn, right? I learned from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn learned from Robert Shelf. So it's all the same stuff. But it makes, whatever you got into business for, you got into business as an entrepreneur because you wanted some version of success, right? Whatever your version of success is, it includes some variation of a good night's sleep. And if you want a good night's sleep and you want to put your head on the pillow at night and know that everything's okay and everything's going to be okay, even if it's not, if that's your version of success, which I think it probably is for everyone, right? No matter what it is, it comes from following the old rules. Being a good steward of your blessings. And guys, if you're, however you treat whatever you have now is exactly how you're going to treat whatever you want. So if you're trying to seek something in these materialistic things, it's not going to, if you want to just follow the old rules and get your first deal. And the great thing here's what happens when you get your first, it's really the third deal. That's when the magic happens. First one, you could go away really easy, right? Second one also. But by the time you get that third deal, you know what happens, guys? You start to learn principles like money goes to money. That's a very true principle.
What does that mean, Tom?
Well, here's the deal. And people sometimes use this as a negative, but money has a tendency to flow towards money. And money itself, when you're a good steward of money, what happens is, and the first step of being a good steward of money is realizing it's not your money. That's like the first step of financial freedom is you just want to be a good steward of it. And what you find is that when you have money, it's much easier to make more money. Money tends to go to, I'm doing a deal right now. I won't get into the deals too detailed, but with somebody that you and I both know and love and trust. And it's going to produce a mountain of revenue. And it is only because of managing money properly. Guys, here are the KPIs. Where's your money coming from? Mm-hmm. Where is it sitting? Wherever it's sitting, how much is it earning? Right? What's the ROI on it? Wherever it's going, where is it going to? I mean, these are the a simple little thing I do with my clients, right, brother? Is where's your money? It's in a savings account. Okay, what's the interest rate? 0.012%. Okay, let's move your money from that bank to the Apple savings account at 4.15. Right? Little things like that. So it's but once
you used a word called steward. What does that mean, Tom? Like what is a steward? Like of course it's my money. It's in my account.
Right.
Yeah. You mean it's not my money?
You can't bring it,
just a steward.
You can't bring it with you. You've got to be when you can separate yourself from money and realize that when you are a good manager of it, you'll be put in charge of more of it. That's when the magic happens. And it's what happens is, and money, you can't, a lot of people talk about this with this generational wealth and there's no such thing as generational wealth in that regard. It's absolutely silly. There's, this whole idea of the Rockefellers and you don't want to do what the Rockefellers had to do to make money because you will be in prison, right? This is when they were cowboys and Indians, right? With Ford and Carnegie and Rockefeller. These guys broke all kinds of rules you don't want to break. So the real generational wealth is having a healthy, wholesome relationship with cash. Like we talked about on one of the last episodes, right? You take your kids to the garage sale, like Todd talks about, force them to negotiate the price of something and then put it on eBay. That's generational wealth right there. That's generational wealth, right? So I think that this idea of being a good steward, it has to do with leads. Right? You want to meet a real estate investor who's going to go out of business. It's the guy or girl who's going to continually to focus on more and more and more leads and not be a good steward of the leads that they already have and knowing that the money is in the database, right?
Totally agree.
Right? Yep. No lead left behind. Yep. Those are the guys and girls who last. Those are the ones who make the most and who end up becoming wealthy and successful. So
you said on a show maybe 3-4 weeks ago. You want to destroy your kids? Give them like $1 million when they turn 35 or 40 or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like if they haven't figured it out by your example, by the principles that you have about money and the way that you think about money, you're going to absolutely destroy it. And I think about that all the time, Tom. I think because Bo's 7,
Right.
and he did horrible on his standard testing, like 17% spelling, 39% math. He did all that. 99 percentile in economics. 99 percentile in economics. And I don't even know how they test for that in first grade. But I just think about this. I think about, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to buy a bunch of real estate. I'm going to have a really nice portfolio. I'm going to have a bank that I'm going to have. It's going to be great. And then, Bo can do whatever. He can have the whole world's going to be open to him. He's going to have all these opportunities and he can do whatever because, he's not going to have to worry about money. Right.
Right.
That would destroy him.
Right.
I think it would destroy him.
By the time,
like if I didn't earn it, you know what I mean? If I didn't earn it, if I didn't go through the really, really tough times, if I didn't go into tremendous debt, if I didn't have the worst credit score ever, if I didn't lose 5 houses and 2 cars and go through a divorce and all these other things that you learn, I wouldn't be married to Aaron. I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now. I wouldn't have the children I have. You know what I mean? Like all of these things build you up to be a stronger entrepreneur, to actually last in this business, and to just be like, here you go. You don't have to do any of that. You get the get out of jail free card. They're gonna go. It's gonna be horrible.
It's the worst. By the time we pass away, if our kids haven't made it, you don't want to leave them money. I can tell you right. They need to be in a position.
We buy those houses, Tom.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
the houses that we buy. We buy the house. They inherited the property from their grandparents. They have or their parents. They totally trash it. They have no job. They don't keep up the property. They don't realize that a property is a living, breathing thing that you have to pour money into every year. It gets destroyed over the years. They don't have respect for it. They haven't learned the principles of being a good steward. And then all of a sudden we're buying these properties for, half of what they would go for if they were fixed up.
Brother, I mean, this is why what Todd and I were talking about is when you take your kid to that garage sale and you force them to negotiate 25 cents off of that toy, and that awkward conversation, it builds that muscle. That's what this is all about. That awkward conversation you're having with the homeowner, that awkward conversation you're having with other people, where you're doing in a deal that I'm in, where you have to say, hey, listen, we're going to do this, but I want to be clear. I'm going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I'm going to put this checklist. Those kinds of things require awkward conversations. The most successful and wealthy people in the country, they 100% are willing to have awkward conversations. They practice something called brutal honesty. They're a truth teller and a truth seeker. And by being a people pleaser and by being a lay down and a pushover and all of that stuff, that it paradoxically, it creates the exact problem you're trying to avoid. And it will bring you down. You've got to teach them early. And I mean, I don't want to, go into parenting tips, but I will tell you, you've got to bring them in early. You've got to teach them that everything that they want is on the other side of their fear and on the other side of their discomfort. Every single person listening to this right now, some of them are going to just keep listening indefinitely and sitting in Panera Bread or Starbucks, and other ones are going to go out in the heat or in the cold or wherever they are, and they're going to have an awkward conversation. They're going to knock on a door. They're going to get bit by a dog. They're going to get chased. I mean, who's the wealthiest real estate investors in the country who haven't gotten bit by a dog? I got bit by a dog. Dan got bit by a dog, right? So I had to eat egg salad once that I don't know how long that egg salad was sitting, but I was not leaving that dining room table until I got that house under contract. And if it was eating that egg salad, I'm going to eat it. And, that's the kind of grit and tenacity that you need to instill, in our account managers, in our acquisition managers, in our team. And this is, this real estate investing, I don't care if you sell door hinges or piggy banks or houses. This is the same tried and true principles. The product or the service is totally inconsequential. The lessons that you learn here, they are applicable. I have interests now in multiple corporations that have nothing to do with real estate. And I can tell you that it's the same exact people with that grit and the tenacity. You have to have the same level of belief in yourself that a kidnapper has in you, because a kidnapper believes in you a whole bunch. Right. I guarantee you that they know that you can get it done if you really want it, and you really want somebody to do something. Mess with kids. Right. So I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes you have to have that kind of epiphany where you realize like you are so much more capable of what you really think. And sometimes when you do that, you realize that maybe you do have a fear of success. Maybe you don't want to put yourself out there because you're a people pleaser and you're afraid of getting ridiculed, but that's where you are going to find your strength in your greatest weakness. You're going to find your greatest strength. And like we always say, right, rock bottom is your strongest foundation. So I just think that if you're on the fence right now and you're not sure how to do this, or just take the leap and do it. And, I know, and I could say this now since I'm in a position where I could say this, which is I know everybody will say, and a whole team of attorneys that are on retainer will tell me this, but they'll say, well, always teach people save up enough money, and then when they have enough savings, then take. No. When I did my first deal, when I had my feet on the desk and I had my Tommy Bahama socks on and I was researching a place for Julie and I to go to dinner, and I got fired that day. Guess when I did my first deal? That's when I did it. When I had to do it. So just have to do it. Just make it so that you have to do it, and your life will be better. Give
us 3 principles from your 88s. I think we left off at like 13 or 14. Give us some wisdom here in the last few minutes we have with you. And guys, give some love to Tom in the comments. If this is hitting that part of your brain where you're like, oh my gosh, this guy is speaking my language. This is exactly what I needed to hear today. This is exactly what I needed to go through. This is giving me an unbelievable perspective. Put it in the comments section. It is just, listen, the law of cause and effect. The more you put out, the more that you're going to receive. Put something out, give some love to Tom, and let us know how we're doing here. But Tom, give us 3 principles.
Where's Luna in my intro video, by the way? What happened, Matt? Where's Luna in the intro video? I can't believe.
Hey, text me a picture, Tom, of that beautiful Luna, and we will make sure. Yeah.
Principles. Here we go. So 14. Tools chase revenue. Right, is 14. So
what is it?
Tools chase revenue. What does that mean? Right, guys, I cannot tell you how many times I have a new client will come in, and we look at their margin. These are the people, you've met these people. They're moving a lot of money around, right? But they're not keeping any. One of the mistakes that they make is that they're buying tools by all of these good looking salespeople because they're peers, right? Because somebody else has this tool, and I've got this $25,000 CRM and this $15,000 email server and this tool. Here's the way it works, right? Tools chase revenue. Revenue doesn't chase tools. Don't buy tools that you could grow into. Buy the tools that will fit the need for right now. Because when you get bigger, your team is going to go out and find amazing tools anyway. So I don't know how applicable it is to the audience if you're just starting, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Be a good steward of the revenue that you're making, and don't overspend on tools. Tools don't get jobs done. Tools don't get deals done. Tools are not, you need the tools that you need when you need them. So get the tools that are going to be for what you're doing right now. Those bells and whistles that you're going to pay all that extra money for, it's just going to devastate your bottom line. And all that time that you're spending trying to move around cool fields in the CRM is all that time you could have been meeting with the seller. So absolutely buy the tools that you need when you need them. And then as you get bigger, and once you pass $2 million, then, have your team do whatever they need to do to put the right tools in place. So tools chase revenue is a big principle that we always follow at Coaching Inc. The other rule 15, distractions make money. Distractions make money, guys. This is a huge realization. One of the number one ways that you see new entrepreneurs, new people go out is that they get distracted. And what they don't realize is that if Brent and I work on anything, we'll be able to make money doing it, right? But the bottom line is it doesn't mean that we should be. So when you're trying to decide if something is a distraction or opportunity, take money off the table. It's one of the simplest rules of all time. That leads us right into the next rule, which is brutal honesty, which I love because we already just talked about it.
Yeah.
Be a truth teller and a truth seeker. I'm telling you right now, nothing will work against you more than this whole act as if, fake it till you make it BS. It makes you a liar and a deceiver. Do not do it. Your lemons make lemonade. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Your biggest vulnerabilities are your strengths. You're faster. You're more nimble. You can negotiate. Be honest with be not honest, brutally honest. Not honest. Have you done this before? No. This is my first one. Never ever lie or deceive. Practice brutal honesty. Be a truth teller and a truth seeker, and that is where you're going to find a lot of strength. And you're going to be able to see that what you see as vulnerabilities in yourself are actually endearing qualities. Where people, like Brent said before about the test, right? Was a Bo, right? Not Seamus, but yeah, it was same exact thing. Talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
People want you to be relatable, and brutal honesty even means the car that you drive. If you can't afford, and which you can't, nobody can afford a car payment. It's absolutely ludicrous. If you ever, God forbid, have a car payment or lease a car, which is even 1,000 times worse, return it immediately, right? And go buy a car for cash. But even in the car you drive and everything you do, do not act as if. It'll work against you 100% of the time. Have grit, hustle, hard work, wake up earlier. And I don't know anybody, and Brent doesn't know anybody who has reached the 1% who has not put in a season of outworking everyone else around them. That's what people respect. That's what they look up to. So find it within yourself to get up and do the right thing. Read your 8 pages per day, every single day. Do what you got to do. And just be brutally honest with people, and it's going to work in your favor. It's refreshing and it's authentic, and it'll shine through as confidence. You know who lie? People who are not confident. And you want to kill a deal with a homeowner? Be hunched over and lying, and be in a weak lying position and not making eye contact. It'll work against you 100% of the time.
Tom, you're the best.
Bam.
Coaching Inc. Guys, if you are coaching anybody, you need to be involved with Tom Croll. He's the best of the best. Where can they find some more information about you, Tom?
Yeah, coaching. If you want a list of the books that we recommend, it's coachinginc.com/21 books. But yeah, if you're an entrepreneur, if you want to grow your business, and if you're stuck, go to Coaching Inc. Fill out an application. I read them. If you give one-word application, they won't send them to me. So fill it out so you don't waste my time or your time. But if you want to go on a great adventure and start having some exponential success, go to coachinginc.com, fill out an application. I'll read the good ones that are actually written up the right way, and we'll go from there. We'll go on. Awesome.
And I have a confession. When there are days that are tough and there's days that I really want to pour into my mind, I go and I scour YouTube for Tom Croll videos, and there's not a lot. There's only a few left. There's only a few left out there, but it excites me. It puts me, and selfishly, that's why I have grabbed Tom to be on the show every single week, because it just helps my whole week out. It really does, Tom. I mean, you're the absolute best of the best.
Thank you.
Pour in. I know that it won't be forever. I know that you've got a lot of things going, a lot of exciting things coming around, but I love the time and attention that you put into this channel and into me and into the audience. So thank you, Tom.
God bless, brother. Enjoy the day. Be well. See you soon.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Do you hear that? Truth teller and truth seeker. Now, here's something that's really important in our business of negotiating with property owners. Remember this: we never tell a property owner what they should sell their house for. We only tell them what we can buy it for. Let it sink. Let it get in there. Let it go through your pores and into your bones. Into your bones, that you understand this principle. We don't tell people what they should sell their property for. We can only tell them what we can pay for it. We can buy it for. And with that, you are a truth teller, because you're not going to go in and give them exactly what they want if it doesn't make sense to you. It puts you, and it's not like, oh, go lock it up and then renegotiate with them later. That never lasts. You have to, in your mind, every single transaction that you do, every single deal that you close, you should be 100% confident. Well, not 100%. There's always going to be some wiggly buyers out there that are a little bit wacky. But let's say 90% confident that you can get the absolute best video testimonial from that property owner. You can get the absolute best Google review from that property owner. And I'm telling you, I talked to an SEO, which is search engine optimization, where people like search you and you pop up, or your company pops up. If you have 20 or more Google reviews, you're going to show up so much more, and people are going to trust you so much more. So imagine going into an appointment where you know they want to sell their property. You know the price. You know the terms. There's only 3 factors that come into negotiating a property. Only 3 terms: price, terms, and you. Do they trust that you can get the job done? So if you already have the price that they want, and it makes sense, and you have the terms, and that makes sense, and they already trust you because there's so many people that said that you do what you say you're going to do, and you treated people well, and you communicated with them like a true professional, you're going to do more deals. You're going to build a brand in your marketplace that is going to be rock solid for years to come. You're not going to be one of these willy-nilly real estate entrepreneurs that comes in, does a couple years, and then all of a sudden goes into all sorts of different businesses. No. You're going to build something long-lasting, and the longer lasting that you build something, and the bigger brand that you build, the bigger profit margin you build in your business over time. The more profit margin you have, the more income you're going to make. The more income you make, the more assets you can buy. The more assets you buy, the bigger your net worth is going to be. Boom, boom, boom. It goes just like that. We're going to answer a few questions. We're going to pop some balloons, do a giveaway here to anybody that's live in here that is participating, and we are going to rock and roll. All right. So I've got some questions here. So let's get to these. The CEO, are you based in Arizona like the rest of the wholesaling hierarchy? Yes. I live in Phoenix. Phoenix is kind of the mecca of real estate investment. We're the 48th state, which means that we've got a chip on our shoulder from a government standpoint that really wants to bring in a lot of economic growth. And so it makes it really easy for new communities to be built, loans to be done, and they have a lot of tax benefits for companies coming in here. So population growth has exploded since the 50s and 60s, and we've got a bunch of houses, and so there's a lot of turnover. So there's a lot of opportunity. So yes, I am. Average Joe, what is the formula for SoCal? Is it 84% ARV minus expenses equals to comp still relevant? I would go 90%. 90% minus fix-up cost. 90% minus the renovation cost. You can go bananas in SoCal. You could go 100% in some areas minus fix-up costs. That's how strong SoCal is. Listen, there's only a certain amount, only 14% of our beautiful nation landmass is actually populated. All right? And when you have 75-degree weather year-round with beautiful oceans and beautiful people around and a lot of economy, people are always going to want to live there. So if you're in SoCal, go bananas. Lock up properties, put it in front of your buyers, and watch when they will buy things, even upwards to 100% minus repairs, depending on the marketplace, or depending on what the inventory looks like. But it's always been low inventory in SoCal. Go bananas. Lock up everything and put it in front of your buyers. They'll buy it. Somebody will buy it for sure. I got the scoop. Awesome. Hey, Brent, is New Jersey a hot market? I've been told plenty of times it's a hard market, but this is my backyard. I think it's not a hard market. I know we have a tremendous amount of incredible wholesalers in that market that are in the Rhino tribe, in the Wholesaling Inc coaching, and they all do phenomenal. So I think that there's way more ugly properties, way more potential than there are wholesalers, there are investors. So keep your blinders on. And remember, your only competition is your business plan. It's not everybody else. It's just your business plan. So you got that. The Tua, first, did you start with flips first, Brent, or straight to wholesaling? Realtor first, flips, and then got into wholesale. I didn't even know what wholesaling was until I was in this business for 8 years. It just wasn't popular. And I fell into it in 2012, and it was by accident. It was because one of my investors was wholesaling a deal that I had found off market, and did that 3 times till I figured out what wholesaling was, and then I was able to figure it out and make it happen. So wholesaling is the best. It's absolutely the best. As long as you play by the rules, and if there's regulations, great. Doesn't bother me. Listen, it'll always be popular to find discounted properties. Wholesaling, in my mind, is the art of finding discounted properties, because there's going to be a segment of the marketplace that wants to trade price for speed and convenience. If they want speed and convenience, then they have to work with our price. And that's where it comes in. We'll never tell people what to sell their properties for. We can only tell them what we can buy it for. What we can buy it for allows them to sell their properties fast, and we get paid a fee to be able to do that. That's it. That's it. So, I mean, build a strong, you can build a long life. People have been doing this forever and ever and ever. Awesome. Got 3 deals in the past 2 days locked up, 2 in Texas, 1 in Arkansas. Come on. Come on. Congratulations. Absolutely excited that you were able to do that. Congratulations. Now, here's the thing. You need to get those properties sold. Need to get those properties sold. Sell those properties, baby. Sell those properties and get it done, right? It's great to lock up a property. That's the first step. We can't sell properties that we don't have. Now we got to sell them. Sell those properties. You're incredible. Go get them. All right? Next, Barry. If cold calling is recommended for wholesaling, how come it is so unpredictable and has a slim chance of working effectively despite making numerous calls? It is a numbers game, Barry. The reason is because some people have skills and some people don't. Because some people hire VAs that cost $4 to $10, and I'm not knocking the VAs. They show up, they do the work, they're hardworking. They don't have the critical thinking skills that you would have if you did it yourself. People want to outsource this as soon as possible. I totally disagree with that. I have had the same advice since I stood on stage at the Wholesaling Inc. Summit in 2017 in April. I said, before you hire a single person, you need to talk to 1,000 property owners yourself. You have to talk to 1,000 property owners yourself. You have to understand what kind of skills and critical thinking it takes to be able to coach other people to be able to do that. And if you think you can hire a company that's going to coach people in your specific area and care as much as you are mistaken. It's not going to happen. You got to be involved. If you're going to hire somebody to make those calls, you got to be involved with them, and you got to be talking to them all the time. All right? That's the absolute fact. But the reason it takes a lot is because you got to talk to 200 people to get a deal. You got to talk to 200 people. Most people, Barry, have never talked to 200 strangers in their life. Most people, I mean, that's being ridiculous and bombastic, but for the most part, people haven't talked to 200 strangers about buying their house. You haven't. So the skills aren't there. And after we bring Rich Wonders on here, who's the novation king, he's going to tell us what areas he likes to do novations, because it could be interesting. I'm wondering if the smaller towns are better than the bigger towns. That's been the experience in the Rhino tribe, who are absolutely crushing novations right now, thanks to Rich Wonders, because they JV with them for the first few, get the rhythm of how these work, and then they're off on their own. It's absolutely bananas. It's the cheat code for novations. You got to talk to a lot of people. What else are we going to do? Here's the thing, Barry. You got a couple options. And I'll go through this chart in just a second, and I'll give you a little preview of this chart. This is where as you're building your business, it's going to get into what marketing channels to go with, what lead generation channels to go with, and I'll just touch on this. But once you can afford for people to call you for outbound, that bottom part there where you're doing it all, that's when there's explosive growth. But if you can have referrals or you can have inbound leads coming to you, you talk to tremendously less people. But if you don't have the budget, you got to put the efforts in. That's just the fact. That's your rite of passage. That's how you build a big, healthy, heavy bank account to be able to put it back into your marketing machine. All right? Guys, this is incredible. We've got the master of novations coming in. Micah, you're not for an hour, bud. Yeah, Pacific Standard Time. You're in an hour. Micah's got maybe he's just on here watching the show. I don't know, but we've got the Novation King up here now, and he's going to talk about what's going on. Micah, let me know if that doesn't work. We'll work some out, but hopefully I can bring you back in an hour, bud. All right. Rich Wonders, what's up, man?
Man, big dog. How's it going, Brent?
I'm pumped. You're there in the penthouse, looking good. You got the button up. You got the glasses on. You're doing like a cool, sophisticated look. I love it. That's basically what novations are cool and sophisticated, in my opinion, right?
It's a white glove, hands-off experience where we deliver the result on a silver platter, man. 5 stars.
Can you give me a 90-second rundown of what a novation is?
Yes. So a novation is when you have a motivated seller, a cash offer doesn't work for them, right? And the house is better suited to be listed on the market and sold to a retail buyer or maybe even an investor buyer. So we basically agree to a net price with them. We explain to them that we are not likely going to be the final buyer. We're going to remarket our contract. Then we go out and we hire a realtor with an attorney in fact. We clean the house up a little bit, in most cases, put it on the market, maybe help the seller move, give them just a good, smooth experience where they don't really have to do anything or think about much or pay for stuff. And then we make the difference between the two prices. So it's like wholesale with the MLS and realtors and retail buyers.
The title of today's show is Hottest Markets to Do Business in. What's the hottest markets that you have experienced so far 2024?
Man, so I'll do some contrarian ones.
Yes.
So, okay. We just had a $52,000 deal in a small town. I can't even pronounce the town. I'd have to look it up. It's like Kizik or something like that. There's like a K, a Y, and a Z, and a couple other letters in there.
Awesome.
But small town in Kentucky, military family. They were in the process of moving. There was all sorts of different issues to solve with. We moved a boat out of the way at the last minute. Whole bunch of little funny things that happen. But yeah, a small little nothing, low population town, no investors. We sold it to a retail buyer that planned on living there, $50K plus. And that was another JV deal, of course, that someone sent in because it wasn't wholesalable. Another one we just did in a small town in Mississippi that was like 3,000 population, and I had to pay someone $1,300 the day of closing to remove 13 dogs, stray dogs that were on the property that were attacking the new buyers. And then they also signed with a notary that also happened to own a liquor store, and they signed the final closing docs because the town was so small. There was no notary. They closed on a Friday night right before the bank was going to close that had their dogs. And signed on the liquor store floor, mailed it in, and it closed. And that was, I think we made like 34,000, something like that. So
smaller markets are better?
It's not a question of better, right? Because I would say they're more accessible. And there's less competition. So maybe we could say they're better.
This is a model that I'm seeing working like crazy right now. Okay? People go in, they get PPL, pay per lead, right? They go into, and I'll show everybody where to get these pay per lead leads. they get pay per lead. They get these leads coming in. They go and open it up to like really small markets. So it's $50 to $75 a lead, right? And then they get these leads. They bring these leads to the Novation King. The Novation King JVs with them. No joke. This is a model that people are using to really get the experience behind it, because you JV. This is a business model that you've really perfected over the last, call it 6 to 8 months. People submit it to your JV, and this is a plug, but this isn't a plug for Rich. I just know that he does a phenomenal job, and it's a really smart strategy, especially if you're like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, right? I've never done a novation. So it comes in, and there's a question right here that people are putting in. So it comes in, paying $50, $75 a lead. It goes to Rich. They do the novation and make like $30,000 and split that deal. And that's a business model. And they're not making cold calls. They're not doing texts. They're not, trying to wholesale other people's deals. They're literally just getting these leads. They're spending anywhere from, they start out with a budget of $500 or $1,000. They sell their TVs. They sell their shoes. They sell their golf carts. That is their only mode of transportation. Their escape. They sell whatever's around. They're selling. They're going to garage sales, flipping stuff. They're getting enough money to buy these leads to then do novations and sell these deals in smaller markets, and it's working. Isn't that crazy, Rich?
It's a beautiful world we live in, man. Technology, communication has lined a lot of things up.
I'm just saying it's a really, really, really interesting, smart, unique model that I think people that are just getting started out in this business are catching on to. And I think that they should look into it. And when they find them in these smaller markets, they're in decent shape. They want close to retail, but not quite, like 80%. They're vacant. They don't want to mess with it. And it's like the perfect sweet spot between a seller that is motivated, but wants more for their money, but they also want the convenience.
And for a lot of these people, it's their only alternative to the traditional process. There is no wholesale offer. A lot of times, sometimes they've even been through a wholesale thing where someone locked it up thinking they could sell it and weren't able to perform. So it really does fill a void for someone that isn't looking to go through the traditional process, but does in fact need to sell. Like literally, there's no competition. Like on these small town ones, I don't even worry if they're talking to other people. Like I just scorch the earth and handle that. But it really too, like the small town properties, those are the happiest sellers at the end, because literally like their whole life is like riding on you completing the deal. So yeah, it feels really good once they get closed.
I love it. What about bigger markets? Talk to me about bigger markets. Or bigger markets, what's the percentage of your deals, novation deals, that are in smaller markets versus bigger?
I would say maybe it's hard to say without looking at it right now because it does fluctuate, but I would say probably half of the deals we do are in places of 20,000 people or less. So that's a pretty big chunk, like right now, I think we have 57 or 58 deals going right now. So
you're the man. That's a lot.
It's my team, man. My team is crushing it. Like I think out of all those, maybe 4 or 5 of them are mine right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's been great, man. There's just a need for this in the marketplace. People have been throwing away these leads for years. And when they start hearing, there is a way to monetize it and you can get 40% for being a high paid lead manager. I mean, it's a pretty sweet deal for everybody. And for us, it's great too, because the opportunities are pre-sorted that they send in and we know exactly how to execute them and pull them off. And we got the capital to do what we need to do. So it's a win-win for everybody, including the seller, even the buyer too.
I love it. And I mean, we've thrown so many leads away that are out in the outskirts. What's the average deal size? Income-wise?
I would have to check. I would say most of them are falling in the 25 to 35 range.
Love it.
And then, and then we'll have some that things will go wrong and we'll squeak by with 10. We've got one we're closing. We're only making $4,000 on.
Just squeak by. Just squeak by with five figures, you know? Yeah, 99% of the human population had never receives a 5-figure check, but we just squeak by with 10 grand. I love this business.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah. Oh, dude, to make 10 grand before I did real estate, that was like several months worth of work. You know what I mean? Sometimes. So
what areas would you not do novations in?
We no longer do novations in South Carolina. So South Carolina, since that law passed, we've switched over to installment method deals. I bought the course like a week and a half ago, and we locked one up right away. That's going to be a 50 banger. And then we have 2 more that just went under contract. So South Carolina, I don't do novations. Oregon, I'm not doing anything with. I don't want to be the first one to swim out in the ocean and see if there's sharks in there or not. If I hear about a bunch of people doing deals there, then maybe
What's going on in Oregon?
Well, they have the new thing. I don't know if it's gone into effect yet. I'm kind of out of the loop, but it's like one of like the harshest wholesale bans out there, where you've got to get a special license and a background track, and there's a bunch of stuff with that. So we do them in Illinois still, but I don't do anything in Hawaii. We actually just signed one in Anchorage, Alaska. So we got one in Anchorage now. But yeah, really, it's all about the deal relative to the market. So like, you know what I mean? A good enough deal, we can make it work anywhere as long as there's people around. If there's no people, that's one we can't really pull off. But
got it. And so out of the 50, how many deals do you have?
It's like 56, 57, something like that.
How many of those did you go and meet the seller at their house, like, and do an appointment?
None of them. No. No, we didn't go to the houses on any of these. And my team's scattered all throughout the country. So yeah, we don't ever go to houses.
So this is all virtual.
Absolutely virtual, man.
This is truly something that people can learn to do just over the phone with a laptop.
Oh, absolutely. If you got an internet connection, that's all you need.
Awesome. What is your JV site?
It's novationjv.com.
Novation, not
just a singular. Yep. Novationjv.com.
I love it. Novation JV. I see. Okay, right here, guys. I'm going to show you guys this. Let me share this so you guys can see it. And the reason I bring this up is there's so many people that are getting help right now. This is one of those, like, wholesaling. Yeah, you should have somebody should walk you through it, and you should have a mentor and have somebody like really help you with your first few and split the deals with them. Novation is a whole different thing. It's a different ball. It's a totally different game. It's a totally different set of purchase agreements and documents that you need to get signed. And my suggestion is you find an opportunity. What would be an opportunity? So, Rich, somebody's talking to somebody. It's in decent shape. It's something that could get a conventional loan. It's not totally destroyed, right? And they're more like 80% of what you think it could sell for. Is what the seller's expectation of price is?
Yeah. So we're not crazy picky on what to submit, because we've had some really good deals that initially didn't look very good. Like the seller's asking price was pretty high. So the most important thing is, I would tell the people, use your spidey sense on, is this a motivated seller? Is there some underlying things going on in here? Are they open to taking a discount in exchange for an easier experience? Now, they don't have to prep them on novations at all. They don't need to bring it up, do an overview. They don't need to explain anything about there may be us involved or anything. The best ideal setup for us is for someone to basically, like I was saying, be a glorified information gatherer, learn all about the 4 pillars like you teach, Brent. You know what I mean? Do some light negotiation with some low price anchors, but don't commit to a number. Leave them waiting for a final decision. however you need to phrase it. Hey, I need to crunch some numbers. There's a few people I need to speak to before we make our decision. I can get back to you in a few days. Then they submit the lead to us. Well, the seller is waiting for a response. My team will reach out to the JV partner, get any additional information, and then we'll coordinate the JV partner to call back the seller with us on three-way. And then the JV partner just gives the warm handoff script where they basically pass the lead over to us and we fully take control of the call and the entire deal. And then from that point forward for the JV partner, it's like a hands-off, done-for-you solution. We keep them in the loop, but they're not like working the deal with us. They're basically just a financial, they're a 40% partner in the deal. Like, awesome. You know, we have discussions and try to help them, but it's not like with our ideas, we want people to be able to do wholesale deals and the other types of deals that they enjoy and already know how to do. And then they can kind of outsource the second thing without having to take a bunch of time.
Here's the problem I have with some of this stuff, Rich. Yeah. I go on and I'm kind of just playing devil's advocate and just playing what's going on in the mind of some of the audience. I go on there, Rich, I put my information in there and I don't hear anything back. Now I know I can't, well, you know, it's either a waste of time or you're too busy or whatever's going on. So what is the guarantee? Like, what is the process when somebody submits? You know what I mean?
Sure. So that is like a KPI that we do focus on, right? Because totally, like in the beginning, right? When I first started doing JV deals, it was just me. You know what I mean? It was me. And there were times where I would get in the weeds where people would be sending in, especially sending multiple leads. I couldn't get to them right away. And my inbox would be blown up with people, hey, what's up? I sent this in. So now we have 13 people on the team. And we're really good. Almost always we can get to you same day. Now, if for whatever reason, normally when that happens, it's because some information was left out. Like we've had it before where people don't submit their phone number or they forget to put their name on there or any contact info. And then I'll get an Instagram message like, hey, what happened to that lead I sent in? And then I'll open it up. I'll be like, oh yeah, we've been looking for you. But I mean, honestly, the JV partners are the lifeblood of our business. And you know, that's one thing I really press into my people. I say, hey, look, just like we give the sellers a 5-star experience, even more importantly, give the JV partners a 5-star experience. Be kind to them, be patient with them, communicate with them, keep them in the loop. For us, this is another deal. For them, this could be the deal that their whole life is riding on if their situation works out or not. So we do take it very seriously because I struggled for a long time. I know what it's like to be in those shoes. You know what I mean? So are we perfect? No, but we have, we really, really press to be consistent with everything. And if there ever is a mistake made or something slips through the cracks, we just take accountability, figure out how to fix it, and then we just move on. You know what I mean?
And here's the cheat code. You respond to your DMs.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, if you really want to get a hold of Rich, just DM him on Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the fail safe. If you DM me, it's always me checking it. It's the lifeblood of my business. So I take that very seriously.
What's your Instagram handle?
At Novation King, all one word.
There you go, guys. That's how you put his feet to the fire on these things. Now he's going to let you know if your leads are terrible, and he's going to give you some instruction on how to make them not terrible. So if they are terrible, it'll be great. Okay, now I know what not to go after. But there's your resource. There you go, guys. I'm telling you, small markets, pay per lead, get them coming in. Get them pre-qualified. They don't want a cash offer, or they don't want the price that a cash offer will give them, but they still want the convenience. They just want the price. Boom. Reach out. Get the info over at novationjv.com. Send Rich a little DM and rocking and rolling. So, Rich, thanks, brother. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thanks.
You're the man. See you, bud. Rich Wonders, the greatest name in real estate. I'll tell you, I'm so jealous. It's the best. I mean, you can't even. His wife's name is Star Wonders. I mean, that's the crazy. I mean, this is like they need a TV show. I'll tell you that. They need to do something like that. All right, here we go. I forgot to do the giveaways, so Matt, put me on the mic, put me on the lapel, and let's go around here. All right, we're going to start. Will you go back there after you zoom in and grab me that lead sheet there, Luke? Guys, we're going to be giving away top shelf here. We're going to be giving away the TTP, the classic TTP shirt. You wear this to any meetup, and people will know that you are the man or woman. I am telling you, they'll know that you're proactive doing stuff. I've got this. This is the master lead sheet. Hold on, I'll get here so that that we use in our company. It's got these all filled out so that you can, as you're talking to a property owner on the phone, it's always good to take notes. This will help you keep you organized. And I'm going to put it inside of this beautiful Trapper Keeper. There you go. This beautiful Trapper Keeper. All right, we're going to put the unicorn, the master lead sheet in here. That'll be the middle row. And then the bottom row, I'm going to be giving away this hoodie here. Boom. Beautiful. Hoodies are popular year round. Let's go. I'm going to make this a little bit more difficult. I'm going to step back a little bit. Usually we're here. I'm going to be here. Okay. Yeah, it's been way too easy. So what do you guys want? You guys want the shirt? You want the Trapper Keeper? You want the hoodie? Put it in the chat. Let me know what you want. And then somebody here in the live audience, we're going to send this to you. So we'll send it to you. If you've already won, let us know. Like, open it up to some other people, but let's see. Ooh. Woo! Hoodie time. Hoodie time. Here we go. So whoever that is, Matt's going to select in the group. Alejandra's not here. She usually selects, but she's on her honeymoon. And so, boom, there you go. You get the classic, as I'm wearing here, the hoodie. Boom. There you go. Awesome. We'll do another one at the end of the show. In about 15 minutes, I'm going to have Jeremy Thorberg, who is my disposition manager. Is going to be coming on to pour in on how to dispo in different markets and what markets he likes and prefers. So that's going to be absolutely banana. But I want to go through this first. This is absolutely important. I put this together. This is something that I think is absolutely critical. This is a coaching that I got in 2007, and this has really helped me to really take my business to the next level. After I lost everything in 2008, but I dug this thing back up and I kept looking at it. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to look at this because it was a really tough market at the time. And this really helped me to start building the momentum. How to make money faster. Number one, raise your level of enthusiasm on a daily basis to a minimum of 8. I am telling you, when you have enthusiasm, when you have energy, you are a magnet. You're a magnet. You are going to attract incredible people to you. The easiest way to do that is fall in love with what you do. Fall in love with this business. Fall in love with the rejection. Fall in love with the grind. Fall in love with comping properties. Fall in love with finding opportunities. Fall in love and recognizing potential in different opportunities. Fall in love with all of that. That's the easiest way to raise your level of enthusiasm. I can't tell you how many times I go to an event and people are just like, it's like they were dead 15 minutes ago and they just got unthawed and they're just zombieing around and they have just absolutely no energy and enthusiasm. I know entrepreneurs that own that are trying to build these businesses, own their businesses, trying to expand, and they just can't get the right people to stay with them because you're dead. You're dead. Just go lay in you should go buy a coffin and put it in your office and just lay in it. Just lay in it. Because that's the level of enthusiasm most entrepreneurs have. It's ridiculous. Raise your level of enthusiasm. Watch how much fun, how much more fun and faster you make money. Number 2. Oh yeah. And then the second part of that, continually sell yourself on what you're trying to accomplish. You got to keep pouring in. You got to keep pouring in. You got to keep telling yourself. You got to keep selling yourself on how exciting life is once you hit those goals. Just telling you. Number 2, keep your goals, your business plan. That's all your business plan is your goals. But keep your goals and rewards for those goals in front of you at all times. There's a difference between goals and rewards, right? But your goals are your business plan. The rewards are all the fun stuff that you get because you achieved your goals. Keep it in front of you at all times. I'm not saying do a vision board the size of your wall and just stare at it all day long, not doing anything. You got to take massive imperfect action, but you got to review your business plan. You got to review and see exactly what you're trying to accomplish today, this week, this month, this quarter, this year. Number 3, work daily on removing the self-imposed limits we place on ourselves. Erase your past. It's just, I don't even know what memories are. You know that science doesn't even know what memories are? What cells inside of our brain hold memories? We don't even know. But yet we let it dictate so much of our life. Well, I wasn't good at this before. Well, this deal fell out before. Well, I've always been told that I just need to keep my head down and get a job and do all these other things. Blah, 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 blah. All these labels that people want to put on us. Screw all of that. Just wipe it out. Right? Like, well, I grew up with this happening in my life or that happening, or my family didn't think about money the way that you're talking about it or the way that I want to think about it. Who cares? You get to press restart. It's a brand new video game you're playing. It's a brand new simulation you're in. Like, erase all of that nonsense. It's doing you no good. Take the stuff that you know what will work. You know what will work? Guaranteed. I'll guarantee this. Conversations and offers. You have enough quality conversations and make enough offers, you win every time. It's undefeated. Erase your past today. Get rid of it. It's done. It's nonsense. It's in your brain somehow. We don't even know how we store it. Then we think about it. Oh, I can't do this. What if I get rejected? I can't do that. I did that once and it didn't work. I talked to 10 people and none of them wanted to sell their house. Press the button, erase, start every day at 0. Every day at 0. Every day you have no opportunities, no money in the account, no leads coming in, and you just go out there and absolutely get exhausted by how much effort you put into the day. By giving so much to your community, to your marketplace, you give so much effort that you're exhausted. Exhaustion is the best pillow. Number 4, make a daily commitment to find a highly qualified lead, appointment, or referral. Every day. Make a commitment to finding a highly qualified lead, appointment, or referral every single day. That's it. Boil it down to that. But Brent, I need to tinker around with my logo and my website and my Google reviews. Come on. Highly qualified lead, appointment, or referral. Number 5, allow yourself the luxury of doing more in 1 month than you ever thought possible. Could you imagine if you sprinted every single day for a month? Every single day you sprinted. Eugene Lotson out of Virginia is talking to 100 strangers every single day for a month. He's in it now. He's already got an incredible pipeline of leads. And I'm not talking Monday through Friday, folks. He's going Saturdays and Sunday as well. One day he talked to 171 people in a day. He can't lose. He's only going to win massively. He is winning massively. He's going to close his first six-figure deal because of these efforts, let alone the other deals that he's got. Do more in 1 month than you ever thought possible, because we have to stretch. We have to increase our endurance. We've got to push things, because if we just stay in homeostasis, nothing happens. Commit to your skill development. And I'll go through the skills, the different skills to test yourself on after we talk to Jeremy, who's waiting in the wings patiently. Number 7, understand the market conditions have no effect on your productivity, but they're going to require me to get a real estate license. They're going to require me to not be able to assign deals. The interest rates are going up. Inflation is going bananas. There's a pandemic. There's a recession. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect your ability to be productive. Only you can. Only you can. And number 8, put things into practice faster. Stop thinking too much. The dumbest people make the most money. And I don't mean unintelligent. I just mean they keep it dumb simple. They just go bananas. They take massive imperfect action. Talk to as many people as possible. Take a screenshot of this. Save it in your phone, pull it up anytime that you're going through a rougher day, and go through this list and see if you can implement these. If you can, woo, you're going to make money faster. You're going to make money faster. If you guys agree with this, can you please put a comment in? Put a comment in the chat. If you're watching this later on the replay, put a comment in here. Which one of these was the one that really hit the chord? Hit some synapse in your brain that you're like, okay, wow, yep, that one makes sense. You guys ready? One of my best friends, my college roommate, do we have a picture of him, Matt, as an intro coming up, or did we not do that? No, he's trying to load it up. Anyway, former NFL player for the Green Bay Packers, Philadelphia Eagles, and San Francisco 49ers, special teams and backup safety to Brian Dawkins. My man, Jeremy Thorberg. What's up, man? Jeremy.
Hey. How's it going? How's the Wi-Fi?
Jeremy's in San Diego right now, so he's not at his house. But your Wi-Fi is a little grainy. I'm going to be honest. It's a little grainy.
Yeah, it's.
But I think the longer you're on here, the better it's going to be. So Jeremy dispos. He's sold millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in deals for us over the last. What has it been? 5 years, Berg? Has it been 5 years?
Since 2019.
Yep.
So
5 years.
5 years. Yep.
Talk to me difference about dispoing. This whole show is about the hottest markets, okay? And where cash buyers are really focusing their efforts. So when you're building your cash buyer list and you're doing research on where to sell our deals and where to and who to talk to add to our cash buyer database, what is your process?
On picking the area or finding the buyer?
Both.
For picking the area, I always like to talk about population, right?
Yep.
You don't want to be out in the rural areas of the towns of 3,000, 5,000. You want to be where people live and people want to live, because you're catering to your buyer who has to sell the property and get rid of it fast, right? They don't want to be sitting on that property for a year. And another thing about buyers is they like to flip where they live. I've had a lot of times a smoking deal where I'm trying to sell to somebody and they're like, I like to buy within, 45 minutes of my house. I don't feel comfortable making that 2-hour, 3-hour drive to check on that property.
Yeah.
So, population is big. somewhere where people want to live, right? There are some factors where, like it's a great vacation spot where population won't matter, where you can do a lot of flips because there's a lot of investment activity going.
Yep.
How's that Wi-Fi? Is it still going well?
You're in and out, but we can hear you, so that's
Okay.
all that matters.
Yeah, I'm a little okay, good. Yeah,
You're
so
good.
population, that's the first place I look at when I'm choosing an area. And I look at what's the on market, what's happening on market. Are there 50 actives with 1 pending, or is there 10 pendings and 5 actives? That's where buyers love to be, where they're going to get that house from you, they're going to flip it, and they're going to sell it sitting on the market for 2 weeks, right? Those
Yep.
are the places they love to be. Like we had a lead come in that had 47 actives and 2 pendings. So that area is going to be impossible to dispo because you're going to have to get that property at such of a steal of a price that it gives that buyer confidence to be there. So this is all general rules.
How often are you checking pendings and actives?
On every lead that comes in. You want to know, even that little neighborhood, what's going on in this neighborhood? Can I trust the comps of 3 months ago, or are the actives now 30, 40K under that on the flips? So you kind of want to know where that little neighborhood's going, where that zip code's going, where your market's going, because the buyers are going to react to how that market's going.
Got it. And so when you're looking at a deal to determine, and this is to determine how much you're going to put the property out at?
Yeah, because that's how a buyer works. If it's a hot area, hot zip code, they're going to, pay top dollar. They're going to have confidence in that ARV. If it's an area with 10 actives just sitting there rotting on the market, they're going to work in that 10% reduction into their offer or more, depending on where it is. So you always have to adjust where you're marketing based on where the market is.
I love it. And so what if we get a deal in the middle of nowhere?
So now you're talking about, let's say it's a population of 5,000 people, right? There might be one buyer in that whole area that's willing to buy there. So you're going to be thinking 25% ARV, selling it for less than 50% a lot of times. And the reason I do that is sometimes you can convince someone in the major market, maybe 2 hours away, to go over there and try this deal out because you have just a smoking deal that it's a slam dunk. They're going to make 50K on it. It doesn't matter that it's far away. They can figure out the contractors they can send out there. They're willing to let it sit there for 7 months. That's the only way you can really dispo these deals when you're sitting in these low population areas.
Who's this guy?
There it is. Hey, in my defense, that was after practice. I had just taken off my helmet. They threw on this jersey and then they took a picture of me. So, my hair's messed up. I hadn't had a haircut in like 4 months.
That's awesome. I just want to prove that you were in the NFL. Everybody's shocked because now you're 117 pounds.
Hey, when you're 42 and you don't work out, your muscle disappears.
All right, let's get back to it. So are you using a voicemail drop? Here, we've got some questions for you, so I'm going to just go with this. Ralph's got some great questions. Are you using a voicemail drop to all the buyers or calling the buyers who have purchased in the same zip code neighborhood to see if interested with no replies from email or text?
We have never tried the voicemail drop to the buyers.
Nope.
What we do is we blast out to all of our buyers, regardless if they say, "Hey, we buy in this side of the town, this city, whatever." We blast to the whole list, and then when I call or text the buyers, then we're going like, "Okay, hey, this guy buys West Side a lot. This guy buys this type of property, a condo, townhome, single family, whatever it is." We go real narrow after we blast, because those are the guys most likely to buy it, and you don't want to waste time calling a guy that does Flagstaff deals when you have a Phoenix deal, or a Florida when he buys in Georgia. So that's when we go real narrow, is after the blast. Who do we call first? Our VIP buyers in this area.
Are you using software like Investor Lift or only naturally built buyers list?
So we have tested Investor Lift. We used it for a year back in 21, Brent?
Yep.
And I only recommend Investor Lift if you're doing multiple markets and you need to, you're doing some kind of dispo business and you need multiple lists and you don't have time to build up, a nationwide list, 2-3 markets. So we are all naturally built. It's been over the length of Brent's business, always building. It's always changing. We're always trying to find new hot buyers, but it's mostly natural.
Yeah, guys, we use Buyer Sonar. It's absolutely phenomenal with Audantic. I've talked about it a bunch on here. It's what is it, Berg? Like $700 a year for just Buyer Sonar?
I'm not sure the exact price.
Yeah, so it just depends. I think it's market dependent. But Buyer Sonar basically takes everybody that buys investment properties for cash and ranks them and shows you the percentage that they buy at. It's really, really, really smart tool for us to pick out the top, 20 buyers in the area. But, Jeremy and I have this discussion all the time. We go back and forth. Do we sell to the same 20, 30 buyers every time, or do we open it up to a bigger market of buyers? Because, the more that you sell to the same guys, yes, it's easy. Yes, it's going to get done. Yes, you don't have to. Most of the time they buy it sight unseen, and you don't have to worry about disrupting the seller or having them feel like there's too many people coming to their property and feeling uncomfortable. So there's some huge advantages to selling to the same 20, 30 people that you really know, like, and trust, but you will make more selling to a bigger list. It's the absolute fact, because you're going to sell a property for more. And we run into this all the time, and it drives Jeremy crazy. We bring it to like the top buyers, and they're at like, we have a deal for 230. They want it for 222, and then we have other guys that want to give us 245 for it. And so it's like, okay, well, obviously we're going to go with the buyer that gives us the most on these deals, even if it is a little bit more work, kind of wrangling them and making sure that they get to the finish line and do it efficiently, which adds some complexity to our business, but we profit more. It's a weird combination, wouldn't you say, Berg?
Yep. Yeah. Pros and cons, right? The pros going with your VIP buyer, it's going to be smooth, headache free. Your business is going to run smooth. But on the other end, you're giving up 5-10K average per deal sometimes. Yeah, that's it. And listen, the way I started, I had like 3 buyers and I was averaging 12,000. And then I went, and my disposition manager at the time, Billy Bell, built some relationships. We started building up a list, and then we started trading that list. We had 100 buyers. We traded with somebody else that had 100. Now we have 200. We had 200. Now we traded with somebody else that had 200. We had 400. And then we traded. And within a month, we were at like 5,000 buyers. And then Jeremy goes in and really makes it super, super, super clear. Right. Super clean and adds more and more quality and gets rid of the people that don't open our emails and aren't doing or maybe backed out on deals or something like that. So you want to always prune your cash buyer database for sure and add to your cash buyer database. Yep. It's always we were up to 15,000 at one point, and then we cleaned it up to around 10,000.
Yeah.
And the phone number list is never going to be as big as your email list.
Right.
About 10-20% of how big your email list will be.
When you send out an email, what is a successful open rate?
We get about 35 to 40% open rate.
And that's good?
Yeah, I'd say that's successful. And whenever you get it way lower than that, you probably have an area that nobody wants. Because in your subject line, hey, great fix and flip opportunity, X city, and then you see 10% open rate, you probably don't have buyers for that area.
How important is the subject of the email?
I think I like to keep it very similar so they recognize that it's you, because a lot of these buyers will have 30 emails in their inbox in that one day. And so I like to do something that they can recognize that, hey, there's Jeremy's deal, boom, open it up. So I think it is important in that, especially if you have the city that they like to buy in, Scottsdale, that's gonna pop out to them in that inbox. So you kind of want to have something in there that pops out to them that's going to get them to open it, versus your competition where they have the little emoji houses and all this stuff. You want something that pops out. I like to put like a little star, just something real simple that, in your 8 on your keyboard, shift, boom, put that little star on both sides. And it was something I came up with that would stand out, but be real simple.
Chris asks, what parameters should be included in an offer to buyers, and should asking price be included?
What parameters should be included in offer to buyers?
What info are you giving them in the blast?
Yeah, because we're not offering, they're offering us, right?
Yeah.
So I include always all the basic information of the house, square footage, beds and baths, the lot size. Is it single family, condo, address? And what I do instead of asking price, I like to start my first blast with suggested starting price.
Yep.
And the only reason I do that is sometimes you get it bid up, right? And 10 people want it within 5 minutes. You had the price wrong. It was way too low. And so I want to go, when those buyers say, hey, I'm giving you your asking price, I need an out, right? I need an out to keep the power, not get them too angry. And so I had that suggested starting price could be like, hey, I totally get it. You're the 10th guy that wants it, but that suggested starting price, sometimes it goes right around there. Sometimes it goes way below it. Sometimes it goes above it. Just give me your highest and best, what makes sense to you. I'm going
to share with you guys here one of Jeremy's blast outs on an email. And then that way you guys can see. This was one from 3 hours ago. So there's us, Joe Homebuyer. This is called Wholesale Maricopa, single family residential, super clean. And ready to go on 3.5 acres. Nice. Mm-hmm. Suggested starting price, the address, the information.
And this is a really strange one because of the solar.
Right. Yeah, solar is just.
So I wouldn't say this is our typical one where I really had to really highlight the solar loan, because you can't sell to LLCs with this particular solar company.
Really important to know, yeah.
So I highlighted that on this one, but typically I might include comps if the comps are really clean and it's really a clear-cut ARV.
Yeah.
And I would say 40% I don't include the comps, because every buyer has a different way that they look at the ARV. One buyer might go out a mile. One might go out a half a mile. So I try to get them to do their own due diligence.
Yeah.
Unless it's like just slam dunk, in that neighborhood, there's 3 flips. They're all around 10K. I'm gonna include those comps. I don't do estimated repairs because, again, every buyer does, they might do some of their own demo. This guy might be paying a contractor and paying $80K for his repairs, and while another one does 40. I don't want to ever leave money on the table by suggesting it's going to be 50K when they can get it done for 35.
Berg, you're the man.
All right. You
Thank
guys
you, brother.
take care.
Love you, bud.
Go find some deals.
That's right. See you, man. Jeremy Thorberg. Oh, there we go. He's the best. I'll tell you what, when you're looking for somebody to sell your deal, somebody asked the question, what is disposition? I know. I always thought that was a weird word when I was coming in and people were like, oh, you need a disposition manager. I was like, what does a disposition mean? That's such a weird, you're going to dispo. They sell your deals, right? The people that work with your cash buyers, you're going to be your disposition manager off the bat. It's who sells your deals. And so that's really all dispositions is who builds your cash buyer database and who sells your deals for the most amount. All right. Awesome. We've got a couple questions here. Out of all the leads list out there, what should we be working on to greater our chances of sending? Oh, this is for Rich Wonders with the novations. Really, Bob, here's the thing. If you're going to be doing novations, they have to be financeable. That's the whole key to this. Think of grandma's house that's livable, but it's dated, or it's in decent shape. It just, they just don't want to deal with it, right? They just want a certain price. They want it sold. They don't want to deal with it. They want the convenience of a hands-off experience. That's what Rich's team does a great job explaining to the property owners. So that's it. When it comes from a list, you're going to run across them. But I would tell you this is what I would use. I would use this right here. I would go right here. I would use this. This is TTP leads. Obviously, this is self-serving in a little bit here, but it's our portal for property leads. It's ttpleads.com. Matt, can you put there we go. ttpleads.com. I'll put it in here. You get $250 if you go through our portal. If not, live your life. If you want to just go to wherever and get property leads and do your thing. But you go into TTP leads. You sign up for your account. You go into the outskirt areas that cost nothing, $50 to $75 a lead. And you go and you buy up they're going to start sending you leads based on your budget. I have a $10,000 budget here in Phoenix and some of the surrounding counties. And once you set your amount that you want to pay, you set your budget. And the beautiful thing is you could set the times that you get these leads coming in. So the leads coming in are going to be, if you are working or you can't get to the lead within 30 seconds. I used to say a minute, 30 seconds. If you can't instantly get to these leads, and I'll show you what these leads look like. I'll come up to the camera here in just a second. And I'll show you what the property leads, because we just got some right here. Can you, hold on. Let me get out of this. Stop screen. I'm going to come over here. Beep, 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 boo. You get these text messages, boom, you get these leads, and then you call up, there you go, you're fine, somewhere in there, and there. You call that blue number right there instantly, boom, and you're talking to that property owner. You have 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds to get a hold of that property owner. 30 seconds, that's it, okay? 30 seconds to get a hold of that property owner and start building that rapport and start really deep dive those conversations, really figure out why they want to sell, figure out the condition, timeline, motivation, price, condition, timeline, motivation, price. But most importantly, guys, this is so critical. This is what Chad and my team does so well. This is why we get so many more deals than our competition with inbound leads. 80% of the conversation is about the person. 20% is about the property. Use your tone of voice. Be loving. be caring, understand what's going on with them. They've got their force field up. They don't know who they're talking to. They just submitted something. They're like, oh my gosh. And listen to this. We reach out to them 22 times in 24 hours to get a hold of them. Let me say it again. 22 times. Emmett Smith, baby. 22 times we reach out to these property owners, these leads, if we can't get a hold of them. We call, no answer, call, no answer, call, no answer, triple tap right off the bat, leave a voicemail, text message, email. 30 minutes later, same thing. 30 minutes later, same thing. They are going to either answer the phone or they're not real. And listen to this. With property leads, if you don't get a hold of the property owner by reaching out to them just 12 times in 3 days, 72 hours, they refund you the cost of that lead. No brainer. So what people are doing, they go into property leads, ttpleads.com. That's our portal. You get $250. And they're going outskirts, $50 a lead. They're getting these opportunities of good, clean properties. They're submitting them to Rich Wonders and his team at novationjv.com, not novations, novationjv.com. And then they start rolling with these deals. Ha! Then you learn how to do novations. And or you get a lead for a wholesale deal. It's awesome. All right. Next, I will tell you right here, we're going to go into this tool right here because our next guest is absolutely incredible. US Lead List. This is the #1 list right now for deals in the Rhino Tribe, in the Wholesaling Inc. coaching program, is US Lead List. They're absolutely crushing it with this. This is pre-probates. This is before it gets filed with probates. You get a list. This list, there was a tremendous amount of waiting lists. We'll have to find out from Micah if he's opened it up a little bit to friendlies, to people that love the show and know what they're doing, because obviously the people that know how to close deals are gonna use the service longer. And we'll find out what are the best areas to go after these pre-probates. But it's absolutely incredible. I'm going to bring to the show right now my man, Micah Nichols. Micah.
What is up, brother?
I'm excited. I'm excited to have you on here.
I know. Thanks for having me.
So today's title, which are the hottest markets? So in your opinion, US Lead List has been around a long time, and you've had some of the most loyal customers of all time because the list is powerful. Where do you see people stick around the longest in using your service?
I don't know. It doesn't, location doesn't matter on our side. The people who stick around the longest are the best consistent marketers. The people who are stubborn, they understand there's when someone passes away, that's enough motivation to move a house. And the people who are just staying in front of those prospects in a really consistent, methodical manner, those are the ones who don't leave. They stick with us for over a decade.
Awesome. So, but I mean, there's got to be, are there markets that people just don't do this in because they're too small? There's not enough data?
Yeah. We do this nationally, right? Like this month, I was just looking at the number. We generated 81,252 leads across the nation, right? And there's 3,200 counties or so in the nation, and there's some that have 0. There's some that have 1, and there's, everywhere in between up to Los Angeles and Cook County. Those are the 2 biggest counties that there are. I think metro markets are a great place to do deals with this list. You still have to sift out. You have to be a good marketer, and consistency is key here. But man, those backdoor secondary, tertiary markets where they're still in the 80s with the marketing practices they're getting, like, man, there's deals there. That's like the final frontier of real estate. I know that everyone has this problem, like, oh, there's not enough buyers. We're not going to. Money comes to good deals. That happens. I've done deals in tiny little towns in nowhere, Wisconsin, and found buyers for them. And so, I don't know. Maybe that's not the answer you're hoping for me to say, but that's been my experience.
I have no hopes in whatever your answers are. I just want to know from your experience, what you've been getting. You know what I mean? I just knew that Arizona was sold out for U.S. lead list for a decade. Before I was able to get the list. I mean, people don't give up this list. I mean, people focus their whole business around this list. Let's be honest. That's all they do is just market to this list, and they do everything to get a hold of the pre-probates, because these are, whenever somebody passes away, you guys have a way to scrape the obituaries and then match it up to properties and really make it a clean list. And so, I just don't know if there's certain areas that don't publish it as often or don't do it as all, you know what I mean? Like, I guess you could do it anywhere. I guess you guys find opportunities throughout every county. You're not wrong. You can absolutely do it anywhere. No matter what, this is a numbers game, right? If Brent Daniels, you're one of the best in the business. If I gave you a list of 10 people and said, hey, go do a deal, you're probably going to have a hard time. So you do need a certain amount of data to work with. And we kind of combat that by refreshing our previous data that we've generated by giving people, over 2 years of back data. And then we scrub that for MLS actives and solds. So they have a lot bigger list to grind on, work on, market to, and get in front of. So you can bump those numbers up by going backwards. And I wanted to clarify what an inheritance list is, because a lot of people get confused. As soon as someone says death and real estate, they get a little, foggy, and most of the time their brain goes straight to probate. And that's not totally it. Like, at least for what we do in our business. Awesome. We are absolute experts at lining up when someone passes away and if they own real estate. So we are like, our leads are where those two merge, right? But there's a couple situations where that it doesn't go to probate. The first is surviving spouses. So if, the spouse is on title, that doesn't need to go to probate. They just produce a death certificate. They get that person's name removed, and now they own it, personally, individually, not with the spouse anymore. And then the other part is trust. So if they did some, pre-tax planning, they're passing this on to someone else. That both of those situations totally bypass probate. And then there is the pre-probate, and all three of those make up our entire list. Awesome. I know you know that, but just in case anyone else didn't. Yeah, we love the list. I mean, we go after it. And a lot of people mail this list. Mail has been my best ROI on this list. The physical evidence, the approach that you can take, and then just getting inbound leads, because ideally you'd be able to talk to the person who passed away. That's obviously not possible. And you don't always know in the pre-probate situation who's in charge, who's taking care of that estate, who's taking care of the property. And so direct mail, and I love my letter that I've been sending to start, which is super basic, but it works really well. It lands in the right person's hands, whoever's checking the mail, making sure the lights are staying on, they're on top of taxes, all those things, because that doesn't disappear when someone passes away. All those decisions, those cumulative decisions that person made, still affect them, and someone else has to manage it at that point. And what is this letter? What is this magical letter, Micah? Absolutely. It is so simple. People laugh me out of the house when I talk about this. Like, no, you don't send this. You don't do this, Micah. You're lying. I've actually had people email that to me like, no, you're pretending. Literally all my letter says is, hey, I have a question about your property, Micah. And then my number's underneath. That's it. That's it. Do you put
That's
it on
it.
a letterhead? Do you put it on like a
It's on a
big
yellow
piece of
letter.
paper? Is it bold? Is it in red? Is it black and white? What is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have
So
an, do you have an
it's on
example you could hold up to your camera?
I think I do. Yeah. I've got, that's the other part that you've got to work on, is that if you're sending out mail to folks who are passed away, you have to requalify your letters. Use first class handling. They'll send them back and it'll say on there, deceased, vacant.
Yep.
My God, those are some of the best leads if you can figure out the right person who's going to get paid. Do the work. Anyway, but yeah, this is a letter A2, small, linen colored. That's nice. It looks like, my aunt sent it to me.
Yeah. It's like a thank you card.
That's exactly right. Condolence card or something. Yeah, this is it. Yellow letter.
Oh my gosh. Can you put it all the way to the screen?
Oh, there we go. Gotta go
there
over.
we go.
Yeah. Phil's
Is that
my
even,
acquisition
is that
guy.
even handwritten or is that a machine?
That's a machine. It looks handwritten, but it's a font.
Who do you go with?
I use yellowletter.com.
Yellowletter.com. What does that cost you?
$1.37 per letter.
And how many of those are you sending out a month?
Probably about 600 or so.
That's it.
Not a ton
So you have like $1,000 marketing budget.
in that vicinity. Yeah, I mean, so like right now we've got 3 appointments queued up for the rest of this week. And it's so funny is people who are starting out this game, right? They get a perfect opportunity to do deals, and it drives me crazy because the first thing they do, they get on the call, they're all excited. Oh, I got a call. And they're like, will you sell me your house at 50 cents on the dollar? That's like almost the second thing out of their face. And it's like, no, these are people. They lost something that is irreplaceable. They loved this person, and you're asking them to basically steal the property. And I'm not saying that like that doesn't work sometimes, because it really does. They'll just offer up a price and it's like, that was lower than, my anchor. Like, that was awesome. Great. Let's do it. But it really is it's a relationship you have to build with these people. It's slow. It takes time, but the biggest deals, these people absolutely have to sell. And if you can make them into your friend, people sell real estate to their friends. That I would choose to benefit my buddy over some random guy any day.
Every day. Yeah. 100%. And so when you get this list in, because it's unique addresses each month, how many pieces of mail do you send to each list? Because they kind of compound on each other. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. So we send, basically we're hitting these people for, at a minimum of 2 years. So we take them off. Anything that's returned to us, then we start requalifying and doing the harder work, which is basically I'm acting as a private investigator. And when I say I mean, say again?
Every month?
Every month.
You send them the same letter every month?
Sorry. Not every month. My bad. We send them every 3 months. We hit them with a letter.
Same one?
Nope, it's different. That first one, I want to get as much response as possible. So instead of the 1.5% I normally get, I get like 7% in my market from that letter. Awesome. And then I start getting more specific. Hey, I want to buy your property. I send a professional letter. And then I switch to postcards, and all I want them to do is associate us with buying their property. So when that switch flips, they're like, oh, that's who I'm calling. I've got this.
If people sign up for US Lead List, do they get your sequence?
Absolutely.
Do they get anything if they use TTP as a code?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah,
what do they get?
They get $500 off our commencement package to start. They get free skip tracing on 5 separate people for life, and they get a private call with me.
Awesome. Guys, that's a no-brainer there. Absolutely incredible. Well, you've seen it in the Rhino Tribe. I mean, we every Tuesday when I do my support call, it's like Who's got deals? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, how'd you find them? U.S. leads list.
Oh,
US
that's amazing.
But they're
I
calling.
love it. That's so
I mean,
cool.
they're calling them. You know, a lot of people are calling from the phone numbers that you provide. So that's absolutely incredible, guys. It's a must-have. I'm telling you, people have built their whole business around this list for years and years and years. And I know people here in town that are doing $300,000-400,000 a year off this list. And I'm working towards it. I need to talk to Jackie. I need to see what the heck we're doing. I think we need to mail to him. I think we've only been calling him and texting. I think we need to mail to him, to be honest.
You should try it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a postcard with that loose message, bro, I'm telling you.
Yep. Absolutely love it. So big market, small market. I mean, obviously the cost is adjusted based on the volume, the size of the market.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, basically, you know, we have an open-ended contract. We don't lock anyone in for a period of time. It's $1.50 per record, and it's however many leads there are in your county in that given month. And then, next month there's, 93. It's that times $1.50. That's how it works. The onboarding, typically we charge $2,000 for the commencement package. And we go backwards and requalify 29 months worth of data by scrubbing it for active properties and sold. Yeah,
totally,
absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
I will say though, the callers, especially because I've had to talk to a few people in the group, they're calling everyone. So we skip trace, we actually skip trace the deceased, we skip trace the spouse if we can find them, and then the relatives. Really, the best meat for calling this list is the spouse. That connection is firm, and that's where the gold is for calling and texting. Otherwise, letters are the best.
Awesome. Micah, thank you so much for being on here.
Thanks for having me, man. It's always great to see you.
Awesome. Guys, check it out. US Lead List. Get a call with Micah. Use the TTP code and get hooked up. So that is awesome. See you, brother. Awesome. Guys, let's do a giveaway and we'll wrap up the show. What a great show. Tom Croll talking about some of his principles. Tools chase revenue, distractions make money, and brutal honesty. Be a truth teller and a truth seeker. Boom. Absolutely incredible. You got Rich Wonders, who is just doing phenomenal things in tiny markets. Pay per lead in tiny markets to do novations. Mark my words. Watch how many people make a fortune doing this. It's not a new technique. It's just kind of under the radar. People don't want to talk about it because they're making a killing right now, but I will. I want you to win. And there's only, I don't know, a couple thousand people that'll see this. So, and only a small fraction will take action on it. So go bananas. I think it's a really strong business plan and technique for grabbing some deals. Jeremy Thorberg giving him all of the goodies on dispo and properties in big markets and small markets. Good strategy there. And Micah Nichols, US Lead List, absolutely incredible. We talk about it each week on the show because it works. I'm only going to tell you the stuff that works, or it doesn't make any sense. Let's do a giveaway. We're going to wrap up the show. And again, here we go. Great show, guys. Thank you. The only reason we do this is because we love the industry. We love this business. It's changed my life. It's helped me to radically change my lifestyle. We got the hoodie. We've got the TTP shirt, boom. And we've got the master lead sheet that will be inside of the magical, majestic, somewhat galaxy-oriented unicorn here. So we'll try to go for that one. And if you're in the chat, if you're live in the chat participating, you qualify for getting one of these. Boom! This man is unstoppable. Who is this kid? Come on. I'm going on tour. No, come on in, Luke. Guys, we'll grab somebody in the chat. Thank you for participating. We love you so much. We want you to win. On behalf of Luke And on behalf of Matt, who controls everything, we want to thank you for joining us. Make sure that you like and subscribe. I should have told him to subscribe earlier. You got to give me like a hand signal or something. Yeah. Guys, if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. We do this every single week. We have a great show on Mondays, Wholesale Hotline. We come out with great interviews and instruction throughout the week on this channel so that you can go out there and win. But remember this, keep your house clean, protect your health, increase your value in this world, and you will live an incredible life. We'll see you next week. Love you. See ya.